Like almost 99% of gym bros, when I first started lifting, I did a classic bro split: chest day, back day, shoulder day, arm day, leg day. And although the pumps were insane, the rate of progress quickly slowed due to only training each muscle group once a week. A few months later, when I came across the push-pull leg split, everyone online said it was the best routine to build muscle. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I stopped doing push-pull legs 2 years ago and noticed huge improvements. So I'm going to discuss why I stopped push-pull legs, the problems with it, and better solutions. So let's get into it. So what is push-pull legs? This is a workout routine split into 3 different sections. The push, which targets chest, shoulders, and triceps, all push-in movements. Like on a bench press for chest, you push the weight up, or for a shoulder press, you push the weight above your head. For a pull day, this targets your back and biceps, and it's all pull-in movements, like a row when you pull this towards you, or for a bicep curl, when you pull your arm and the weight up. Legs, this is pretty self-explanatory, and it's all of your lower body, so mainly quads, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. Cool, so there's 2 different variations of the push-pull leg split. There's a 3-day-a-week split, where you just do push-pull legs and just 3 sessions, or there's a 6-day routine where you do push-pull legs rest, push-pull legs, and then you rest again. There's an alternating rest day. Now, before getting into the issues and problems with the push-pull leg split, it's important to know the criteria of what exactly makes the best workout split. Firstly, you want a split that trains each muscle group twice a week, as there has been countless studies that have proven training the muscle groups twice a week is more optimal. The second criteria, and arguably the most important factor, is consistency, and that you can stick to this split as often as possible, because there's no point trying to train every single day if you can only do that for a week or 2. The third criteria is that your workout split should provide good levels of rest and recovery, so you're not constantly fatigued and as a result getting injured. And number 4, your workout split should obviously prioritize your goals and have no real weaknesses. And the final point, not taking up too much time, as this can affect your consistency, and there's no point doing 2 hours or 3-hour workouts when you can get the same results in a much shorter time frame. Okay, cool. So now you know what the push-pull legs workout split is and the criteria to look for. So I'll get into my 3 biggest issues with the push-pull leg split. My first big issue with this split is fatigue, because you're doing all of the movements on the same day essentially. So for a push day, for example, you're going to do a lot of bench press, incline press, and that's actually targeting your front delts. So then by the time you get onto your shoulders, you're doing shoulder press, you're hitting the front delts and shoulders again. You're not going to be able to lift as heavy. And if you're doing something like a close bench press, by the time you've done all of chest, all of shoulders, and then get onto your triceps, they're going to be screwed. So the fatigue really starts to build up. And after months and months of training like this, it could lead to your chest developing better compared to your shoulders, as you've hit your chest fresh and then your shoulders already pretty fatigued. To combat this, you could actually train in opposites. So you could do chest and then back, because when you're training your back after just training your chest has a little bit of time to recover until the next exercise, and then you're constantly alternating and actually gives your chest a lot of time to recover. Alongside the fatigue, the split can be quite time consuming, especially on a push day when you've got to properly target your chest, shoulders, and triceps. The second biggest issue would be consistency. Now, obviously with the 3-day split, this is pretty easy to stay consistent with. However, you're only training each muscle group once a week. So if you can only train 3 days a week, I would do 3 lots of full body split, or I would do upper, lower, and then a full body. This way, you're training each muscle group twice a week, but still with 3 different sessions. With the 6-day split, this is where the real issue of consistency comes into place. Obviously, 6 days is a lot to train. However, the main issue is that it's an alternating split. So the days are always changing and always alternating week by week. So there's no days which are specifically set for rest days and training days, which may seem okay at the start, but without that structure, there's bound to be something which is gonna happen and gonna crop up. And then, as soon as you miss one day, it makes it almost impossible to catch up. The 6-day split is also pretty taxing on your joints and makes a recovery a lot harder. So instead, I'd go for something like a 5-day split, and you could do push-pull legs rest and then upper-lower rest. This way, you're getting the best of both worlds. With the upper-lower, you're getting the compounds where you can really build that mass. And then with the push-pull legs, you can really isolate the muscles a little bit more. Coming on to the third and final issue, which would be arm growth. When I transitioned to push-pull legs, I noticed that my arm growth started to slow down. And the reason behind this is with the push-pull legs routine, it focuses on the big compound lifts at the start of the workouts, which take up the most energy and the most strength. And by the time you get onto the isolation exercises and the arms, they're already super fatigued and they're kind of just left to the end, as your biceps can be used a lot for things like rows on your pull day. And then your triceps can be used a lot on things like bench press on your push day. And this all makes it a lot harder for your arms to progress. Now, as a summary, I'm not here saying that push-pull legs doesn't work at all. You're not going to build any muscle. Of course, you can still build a lot of muscle with it. However, you need to make sure that it aligns with you. And everyone reacts differently to different workout splits. So you can try them all out and find the best one for you. With push-pull legs specifically, I would only focus on this if you're more of an advanced lifter, or if you've got a lot of time or don't really get fatigued or have bad recovery. And if you still really enjoy push-pull legs, I would do something like push-pull legs and upper-lower. So then you're getting the best of both worlds. You still have that fun isolation with the push-pull legs, and then more of the broader mass compounds with the upper-lower. But essentially, with workout splits, there's 4 main ones that you can choose from. So upper-lower, push-pull legs, Arnold split, or full body. So you can mix these around and see which is the best combination for you. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And in the first link in the description, you'll find my one-to-one online coaching there. If you need something a bit more personal, drop a like, drop a subscription, and I'll catch you next time.